Thanks for joining us today. You know, this is not the first time Rotary leaders have had to navigate their clubs through a global pandemic. And your club has placed their confidence in you as their president to guide them, to lead them, to serve them as you continue to do good work and serve your community. So now let's get started. Welcome to the 2020 Virtual Pets for District 6560. All club presidents must complete the District Pets training. Please register for online club presidents training at learn.rotary.org and submit your certificate of completion to the district governor. Your district leaders are here to encourage and support you in your role as president of your club, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your patience while the team worked together to bring you this virtual training. The recorded copy of this Zoom event will be available on the district YouTube channel for your review. So now, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to your Rotary International President for the 2020-2021 Rotary year, Holger Knecht.
Dear friends in Rotary, we all love Rotary, and all of us have taken on great responsibility. This is our opportunity to strengthen our network, not for our personal glory, but for the good of Rotary. We believe that our acts of service, big or small, create opportunity for the people who need our help. And we also know that every act of service will inspire and change us. Rotary is not just a club that you join. It is an invitation to endless opportunities. Rotary opens opportunities for the people we serve and for ourselves. I've asked the district governors to deliver 4 messages to clubs. This is briefly: first, we want to grow by new, different, innovative club models that meet the needs of young professionals and Rotaractors. And I'm asking you to support those new clubs in your area and think about creating your innovative satellite club. Second, please host at least one strategic meeting a year and asking where your club wants to be in 5 years and what value it brings to your members. Third, I wish your club to grow, but please select your members carefully and make sure that they are a good fit to your club and that your club meets their expectations. And please take care of them. And by the way, there is no wrong age to become a Rotarian. Fourth, even though everything right now is about the coronavirus, please continue your club efforts to end polio by donating to End Polio Now. We must fulfill our promise we made to the children of this world. And based on our strategic plan, together we will grow Rotary. Now, the coronavirus has changed the world, and we cannot longer meet in person as usual. And we don't know how long this will continue. But that's the only real change. Everything else remains. We now come together virtually, like today. We can see each other. We can discuss together, listen to a speaker, and plan new projects. And we share the Rotary values, and we all share our 4-way test. And even in times of crisis, and especially now, Rotaries open opportunities for us and for the people who need our help. With our commitment to service above self, we will be able to overcome one of the greatest humanitarian challenges. Of course, everyone wants us to get back to normal. But in Rotary, this is the time for change. This is the time to be revolutionary. Let's take the opportunity now to make Rotary ready for the future. I'm asking you, please, put everything on test. Frequency and manner of your meetings, your location, day, time, procedures, your events, selection of new members, fundraising projects, your projects, simply everything. Your club can become more attractive, flexible, and effective. Don't waste the opportunity. I would like to thank you for your commitment to our great organization. Everything we do opens another opportunity for someone, somewhere. Thank you very much, and stay healthy.
Hello, my name is Joe Collings, and it is my honor to serve as governor for District 6560. The Income Rotary International president stated, "Rotary is not just a club that you join, it's an invitation to endless opportunities." We are all aware of the positive impact of Rotary throughout the world. We cannot allow this to slip away. Now, more than ever, we will continue to rely on technology in its evolution. Zoom has become a tool that allows us to efficiently and safely maintain contact with each other. Clubs will be able to harness technology to maintain enthusiasm, engage members whose schedule had previously prohibited regular involvement with their clubs. The momentum started with our satellite club growth must continue to take a front seat with building membership numbers. The club's strategic planning will be critical in our quest to strive for increased membership. The plan with goal setting strengthens clubs. I provided the President's Weekly Program book in the packet being porch dropped to each president. This, along with our district organizational chart, will be useful as a guide to weekly organization. As we move forward during these uncertain times, there are some things that can be deemed essential. Social distancing will be solved by increased virtual contact. Member engagement, keeping membership focused on the certainty that Rotary does good in the world. Our foundation, via the grants we provide, allows us to continue to meet the needs throughout our communities and beyond. Just 2 weeks ago, I provided the district grants program to Rotary International in Evanston. The strong leadership of our grants team put together this 20 club participation in our grant program, our DDF fund, for 25 grants in our district. Over $107,000 will be used to strengthen the communities and abroad. I'm very proud of our grants team and their quick turnaround, which is very unusual for Rotary International to approve this. Things are not going to be as they were in the past. Weekly attendance, project participation levels, and the me first attitude will not be so prevalent. The traditional club visits may need to be altered. I've currently placed those governor visits in the first 3.5 months of the year, allowing time following to participate in social, civic, and fundraising events in late 2020, early 2021. We will continue using Rotary's model to successfully plan for change. As in our vision statement, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. I look forward to working with each one of you to continue making this a reality.
Hi, I'm Dale Basham, Rotary International District 6560 Governor for 2018-2019. My theme was Be the Inspiration, and I'm here to welcome and to congratulate Joe Collings as he becomes district governor. Rotary opens opportunities. What an incredible opportunity you have, Joe, to open some doors for men and women in District 6560, Central Indiana. I will tell you one of the things that I always remember early on before I became district governor. I was at an event, a forum, and someone asked, after I had had a really spectacular year as president of Muncie Rotary, how did you bring in so much diversity into your club? And we did. We brought in all kinds of people that year from all different backgrounds, going in different directions. And I really believe the secret to our success was that we made our Rotary Club a destination where people wanted to leave their office, wanted to leave their apartment or their home and come to Muncie Rotary. I always had a little bit of pre-show music. I always had some surprises in store. I had an organized agenda of important and interesting speakers, but really it was about edutainment. I first came up with that word when I was principal of Muncie Central High School and I was interviewing math teachers, and I realized, if in this interview in 45 minutes I'm bored, imagine what my students will feel day in and day out. So I encourage you, Joe, and all of the presidents-elect, presidents of your local Rotary Club, to spice it up a bit. Make your Rotary Club a destination where people will want to bring their friends. And you know what? Diversity will just happen. We are all in a new world today, and we are looking for value for our time spent. Make those projects for your community worthwhile and exciting, but make your meetings full of edutainment. Remember, Rotary opens opportunities.
Well, hello, PETS attendees. I know this is very different, but this is part of the new world that we're in. My name is Michael Sheely. I am the now immediate past president of the Rotary Club of Indianapolis. And I wanted to share with you an idea, a thought that you can carry with you as you go into your presidency. It is an unprecedented time, and we are dealing with some global issues that are far beyond our control. The need to innovate and be creative is going to be paramount. And leading people through change is not always easy because not everybody wants to change. Now, there's certain things, though, you have to ground your innovation to, and that is who we are as Rotarians. I remember when our downtown club was changing buildings, a lot of members thought, well, we won't be the downtown club anymore because we're no longer in the heart of the city. We're not going to be downtown anymore, so we've kind of lost kind of who we are. And that wasn't true, because who we are Rotarians. Who we are people who put service above self. We've never been tied to a particular building. Also, we've never been tied to a particular time or technology or a day of the week or breakfast or evening or meeting every week or meeting every other week. We're not tied or bound by any of those things. What we are bound to is the four-way test. And so as you innovate and you face some obstacles, and you will face obstacles as part of being president, you will face obstacles. Take your members back to the four-way test and take them back to who we are. We are Rotarians, and we put service above self. I believe the year's theme is about opportunities. Okay, well, you can't have change without opportunities. You can't have opportunities without change. And so you'll have to, with your presidential self, tell people we are creating opportunities because we are Rotarians. And if they don't like it, I'll share with you a quick story. When women were first integrated into the downtown club, there were members of Rotary who said they did not like the fact that women were joining the downtown club and they were no longer going to be Rotarians. And what the leadership said at that time was they were never Rotarians. So I'm not saying if they don't like change, you should just kick them out. But if they don't like change, you can let them out. Do what you need to do. Lead your clubs. Make changes that you need to make. Be a Rotarian. It's service above self. Have fun. I believe you have a great year. Thank you. All the best.
The Navy SEALs are one of the highest performing organizations on the planet. And a former Navy SEAL was asked, who makes it through BUD/S? Who makes it through the selection process to become a SEAL? And he said, I can't tell you who gets through, who makes it, but I can tell you the kind of people who don't make it. He said the star college athletes that never have been really tested to the core of their being, none of them make it through. He said the preening leaders who like to delegate everything, none of them make it through. He said the big tough guys that come in with huge muscles, covered in tattoos, and want to prove to everyone how tough they are, none of them make it through. He said some of the guys that make it through are skinny and scrawny. He said some of the guys who make it through, you will see them shivering out of fear. He said, but every single one of them who makes it through, when they're emotionally exhausted, when they're physically exhausted, some way, somehow, they're able to dig down deep inside themselves to find the energy to help the person next to them. Service. Service. Giving to another, having their back, is what makes the highest performing teams in the world. Not their strength and not their intelligence. It's their willingness to be there for each other.
John Maxwell here. I'm glad you're with me today on Minute with Maxwell. The word today is conducting. When I think of that, I think of a conductor of an orchestra. And there, with his giftedness in leadership, he waves that baton, and all the people with their giftedness in music, they begin to play music that just becomes incredible to hear. And when you think, all eyes are on the conductor. Isn't it interesting? The people within their own right are great musicians. And they can play those pieces without the conductor, but for them to play them together, they need somebody to keep them together. And that's what a conductor does. A conductor says, look, you all are already gifted, you're already talented. In fact, probably you're more gifted in your instrument than I am. But when I come together with you, it's to help you get better together. I would hope that you and I are a conductor in people's lives, that they would say that we bring the best out of them and we help them help others by playing together on the same team. Well, that's a great job, isn't it? I hope you'll go out and be a conductor today. I plan to do that. My name's John. Glad you're with me today on Minute with Maxwell.
So how did we get here? The first four Rotarians, Gustav Lauer, Sylvester Sheely, Hiram Shorey, and Paul Harris. We've been making history and bringing our world closer together for over 100 years. The first Rotary Club was started in Chicago, Illinois, USA in 1905 by an attorney named Paul Harris. Harris wanted to bring together a group of professionals with different backgrounds and skills as a way to exchange ideas and form meaningful acquaintances. In August 1910, the 16 Rotary clubs then in the United States formed the National Association of Rotary Clubs, now called Rotary International. In 1912, Rotary expanded to a few more countries, and by July 1925, Rotary clubs existed on 6 continents. Today, there are more than 35,000 clubs in almost every country in the world. For more information about Rotary's history, go to rotary.org/history. How is Rotary structured? Rotary Club members. There are more than 1.2 million Rotary Club members, or Rotarians, around the world. Your potential to do good in your community as a Rotarian is far greater than it was before you joined. You'll have the privilege of working with other professionals and the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others by bringing together your expertise, skills, and resources. Rotary Clubs. The club is the most important component of Rotary's organizational structure. There are over 35,000 Rotary clubs in more than 220 countries and geographical areas. Rotary clubs are autonomous, so the member experience varies from club to club. However, they all operate somewhat similarly. For example, all clubs have presidents, secretaries, and treasurers, and committees that help them run smoothly. Each Rotary Club is considered a member of Rotary International. Strong, well-run clubs enhance our members' experiences and deliver valuable services to our communities. Club meetings. Rotary clubs hold regular meetings where their members gather to socialize and to discuss their current projects, other Rotary matters, and professional topics. While most clubs meet in person, some clubs meet primarily online or have a combination of in-person and online meetings. Rotary is both apolitical and non-religious, and Rotary clubs are encouraged to create an inclusive environment for all club members at their meetings. Meetings can be formal or informal and can include food and drinks, speakers, an open forum for discussion, or group activities. The more you participate in your club's meetings and activities, the better overall experience that you will have as a member. Did you know the first Rotary Club met in Chicago on the 23rd of February in 1905? Rotary clubs are grouped into districts. District governors serve an important role in Rotary. They're nominated by clubs in their district for their leadership skills, Rotary experience, and dedication to service. They are trained extensively both in their regions and all together at the International Assembly. District governors serve a one-year term, leading a team of assistant governors and district committees to support and strengthen clubs and motivate them to carry out service projects. Governors visit each club in the district during the year. They oversee the development of new clubs and plan the district conference and other special events. Districts are organized into regional zones, each led by a team of regional leaders. Finally, your Rotary Club belongs to the global association, Rotary International, led by the Rotary International President and the Rotary International Board of Directors. Your club is one of 44 clubs in District 6560. Our district, along with two other districts, form the state of Indiana. Multiple districts join together to form what is called a zone. Our zone number is 30. Zone 30 and 31 have joined together to form what is known as the Heart of America. And Heart of America includes 26 districts in 13 states.
Just think, all of this began with $26.50. Few organizations endure for a century, let alone grow and thrive as our foundation has. Our foundation has been a great tool in transforming the world. Our foundation is all about the vision to see, the faith to believe, and the courage to act.
There's kids that are walking, that are alive today because you've taken the time, energy, resources to eradicate polio, to continue to work towards that. know that you're in an organization that's truly changing the world, and if you're willing to make a few tweaks, not to the DNA of Rotary, it's fantastic, it's exactly what millennials want. But if you're willing to make a few tweaks, I really believe that this next generation is going to benefit greatly and bring a lot to Rotary.
There is no life without its hunger. Each breathless heart beats so imperfectly. But when you come, I am filled with wonder. Sometimes I think I glimpse eternity. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy sea. I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raised me up to more than I can be.
We're hosting the conference at the Indianapolis, or the Children's Museum of Indianapolis, which is a fairly unique venue for hosting a district conference. And the staff here has been incredible. The atmosphere has been very unique and offers an opportunity to have a lot of fun and try different opportunities to present Rotary topics, presentations, and entertainment. It's been a lot of fun, very unique.
It is. It's fun. Yeah, I like the Children's Museum. It's fun. It just kind of adds a sense of fun and excitement to it all.
This has been a great opportunity to have fun, make new friends, learn something about Rotary that maybe you didn't know, learn something about Central Indiana and the projects that we do in Central Indiana and across the globe. Have some fun, network with people, and just kind of, I don't know, explore new ideas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Did you all enjoy dinner tonight? Good. It was really good. And the best part is the cheesecake. So I'm getting to that next. That's my favorite part. I am so excited to be with you all tonight. There's nothing that I love more to be in a room full of people who are like-minded individuals, who really put service above self every single day.
Love it. It's great. We're having a great time so far this year. Good program. This morning's programming was great. So very good.
I enjoyed the speech contest winner and the students coming in. That was all very interesting.
Yeah, I think the musical pieces kind of put an exclamation point on the presentations in some cases, or bring an emotional intensity to it that just enhances it.
The speakers are there putting their input, done research on what they're talking about. I know this morning Miss Indiana came back and spoke on her behalf and what serving in itself is all about on her part.
And to have Rotary now welcoming all of us, however young, however strange or different we may be, that's what makes me happy and proud to be a Rotarian. I'm Martin Clinch, and I am proud to be a Rotarian.
We are the builders of bridges. So, I'm going to carry my load of bricks and do my part. I am Chadwick Offit Gillenwater, and I am proud to be a new Rotarian.
Even though I play the piano, I can't just play the piano for the next 30 years. I want to be involved. I want to be involved in service. My life has been a life of service, and I want it to continue to be that way. And so as I think of what I'm going to do for the next 30 years, I can't think of a better way than to join Rotary and be a person of service.
As Rotarians, we value avenues of service, areas of focus, the four-way test, object of Rotary, and diversity. Rotary was founded on principles that remain at the heart of the organization today. These principles reflect our core values: integrity, diversity, service, leadership, and fellowship, or friendship. Our core values emerge as themes in our guiding principles. And so now let's look at each one of these values independently. Avenues of service. We channel our commitment to service through 5 avenues of service, which are the foundation of club activity. First, club service focuses on making clubs strong. A thriving club is anchored by strong relationships and an active membership development plan. Vocational service calls on all Rotarians to work with integrity and contribute their expertise to the problems and needs of society. Community service encourages every Rotarian to find ways to improve the quality of life of people in their communities and to serve the public interest. International service exemplifies our global reach in promoting peace and understanding. We support this avenue by sponsoring or volunteering on international projects, using local member expertise to build long-term partnerships for sustainable projects, seeking service partners abroad, and more. And finally, youth service recognizes the importance of empowering youth and young professionals through leadership development programs such as Interact, Rotaract, Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, or RYLA, and Rotary Youth Exchange. The Rotary Foundation trustees and Rotary International Board of Directors have both unanimously approved adding a new area of focus, supporting the environment. More than $18 million in Foundation Global Grant funding has been allocated to environment-related projects over the past 5 years. Creating a distinct area of focus to support the environment will give Rotary members even more ways to bring about positive change in the world and increase our impact. Supporting the environment becomes Rotary's 7th area of focus, which are categories of service activities supported by global grants. It joins peace building and conflict prevention, disease prevention and treatment, water, sanitation and hygiene, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, and community and economic development. Grant applications for projects will be accepted beginning the 1st of July in 2021. Gifts and commitments from Rotarians and others will be sought to provide global grant support for the new area focus. More information about this new cause will be announced soon, or you may log on to your account on Rotary.org to find more information. The 4-way test. Early Rotary members emphasized the importance of acting responsibly and ethically and using our professions as an opportunity to serve. Honoring our commitments, however bold, is the ideal characteristic of a Rotarian. In 1932, the 4-way test was developed by Herbert Taylor, a Rotary Club of Chicago member and the 1954-55 Rotary International president. Rotary later adopted it, and it underscores Rotary's value of integrity. The 4-way test has long served as an ethical guide for members to live by in their personal and professional relationships. So, my fellow Rotarians, will you repeat after me the things we think, say, or do? Number 1, is it the truth? Number 2, is it fair to all concerned? Number 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular, to encourage and foster, first, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. Second, high ethical standards in business and professions, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations, and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application of the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. Fourth, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. In Rotary's first decade, members set out guiding principles that evolved into what is now known as the object of Rotary. They added the advancement of peace in 1921 and made the language more gender neutral in 1989 and 1995. While your club may not emphasize all these principles, understanding them puts your club experience into perspective and adds meaning to being part of this organization. As an international organization, Rotary values its diversity around the world and within each club. Each club strives to reflect the diversity of its community by including members from a mix of professions, genders, ages, and ethnicities. Having members with different backgrounds and viewpoints gives your club a broader understanding of the community and its problems, and better equips it to find solutions. Equally important is fostering a culture of inclusion, where these differences are respected, supported, and valued. Rotary is an apolitical and non-religious. It does not discriminate on the basis of gender, race, color, faith, national origin, or sexual orientation.
What is Rotary? Rotary is a voluntary, non-profit, non-governmental, non-religious organization of industry professionals and academics working in intertwined autonomous networks providing self-education, exchange of knowledge, and humanitarian aid. It might sound complex, but it's built on a very simple philosophy. You go through life, working, studying, and taking care of your loved ones. But at some point, you might stop and feel a spark, an urge to not only do good, but to help others as well as yourself. Throughout life, you've had tons of ideas. All of them might not have been the most complex or the most developed, but it's the thought that counts, isn't it? When an idea is introduced into the Rotarian network, and we exchange thoughts, knowledge, and experience, ideas grow along with ourselves and are brought into reality. That is what Rotary is. We know that simple thoughts can become the beginning of something huge and life-changing for millions of people around the world. For us, it has led to projects like local mentorship programs, providing clean water, building schools, disease awareness campaigns, scholarships, exchange programs, wigs for cancer patients, teaching kids karate, providing medical care, blood donations, fighting illiteracy, protecting mothers and children, and emergency food supplies. And to think that our first project was a public toilet, and now we're on the brink of eradicating polio. We believe that with the right people, the smallest thing can make a huge difference. So when you feel the spark, remember Rotary.
In 1917, Rotary President Arch Klumpf announced his idea for an endowment fund dedicated to doing good in the world. With this short statement, Klumpf inspired the establishment of the Rotary Foundation. Today, the Rotary Foundation helps clubs and districts work together to perform meaningful, sustainable service. Our top-rated, award-winning foundation has spent more than $3.7 billion on life-changing, sustainable projects that help people in need around the world get clean water, medical care, literacy classes, and other essentials. Our members' and others' contributions to the foundation allow us to bring sustainable change to communities in need. Ask your club's Rotary Foundation Committee Chair or visit rotary.org/donate to learn how you can support our foundation. To learn more, download the Rotary Foundation Reference Guide or take the Rotary Foundation Basics course on Rotary's Learning Center.
was seated on an airplane not long ago, and the pilot came on to tell everybody else, because I got on early, I got 1,000,000 miles on Delta, and I was seated, and the pilot comes on and announces everybody, wants everybody to sit down right now, you know? And he said, because we're expecting weather, and we'd like to take off early. I'd never heard a pilot say this before. I didn't know a plane could take off early. It turns out if everybody's on the plane that's supposed to be on the plane, they can leave early, right? It works like a charm, man. Everybody sits down, buckles up, everybody's ready to rock. And then he comes on to say, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to make our window out of town before the weather comes in. You know, we're expecting some storms. We just want to tell you that we're expecting a fairly rough takeoff. Now, not to worry, he says, we're going to fly in a condition we call in the cockpit Zero visibility. And then he says, but don't worry, it's safe. And what's interesting is everybody immediately looked out the window to see what zero visibility looks like. And he was right, man. It was a herky-jerky flight. I mean, rock and roll takeoff. Even us veteran flyers, white knuckle deal taking off. But interesting thing happened as this plane gained altitude through the murky, heavy atmosphere, all the cloud cover, right, is we flew and we flew and we flew into bright, pristine sunshine. And you know why this is possible, Rotary? Because the sun is out every day. The sun is out today. On this cloudy day on Mackinac Island in the Grand Hotel, the sun is out. And the only question you need to ask yourself as a Rotarian leader, is whether you want to fly your plane in the clouds or above them.
Okay, you can unmute. I want to play a little game with you. It's called Rotary Pictionary. So here's the first slide. Can you guess what this is? I see it.
Bees knees.
Bees knees.
Beneficial.
Beneficial.
You guys are way too smart. It is bee plus me plus fish plus shell makes beneficial. All right, what's this one?
Better friendship.
Who said that?
Charlie.
Charlie, you're right. Better friendships. Bed plus deer plus friends plus ships.
Bedir.
Next, this one's a little harder. I'll let you know the orange hand is service. All right, here it is. Avenues off. The light switches off. Avenues of service. And the last one.
Fellowship.
Fellowship. Who said that?
Doug.
Doug, good job. All right. We are now officially done with the pre-recorded portion.
I think we should give you a hand for that was a very nice presentation.
Thank you. Oh, see, there's one more. Sorry. Thanks, everybody. So it's time for happy hour. Anybody have any questions for our district governor?
Jennifer, what an inspirational first day. I think everyone's walked away and gone, wow, you've done a great job putting this together. And of course, the topics are at hand for all of us.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to think about when I was club president, what would I have liked to have known? So when I went, I was very green. I'd only been in Rotary a couple of years, and people were talking about Paul Harris. They're talking about Arch Clumpf, and I'm sitting there going, I don't know who these people are. So hopefully those of you that have gone through this with me will not be in my same boat.
This is Ty from the Richmond campus. Earlier today, I was our speaker, so you know it couldn't have been that great of a day. But I asked my club, you know, why Rotary and why now? Because we're losing members. I mean, we had another member quit literally today. She was like, "It's too much. I've got too much. I can't do this." And so it was kind of reassuring to hear that some of the things that they shared are some of the things that we're doing. You know, we make a difference around the world. And even though we're a tiny club right now, you know, our membership makes a difference for Indianapolis, for, you know, Beijing, for places all over the world. And so thank you for reminding me yet again why I'm doing this amidst the chaos. and why, you know, I said yes in the first place.
That's good. When you log in on week 3, we're going to show you actual videos from international projects that our district has done.
You know, addressing what Ty was talking about, it's a lot of, it's very interesting going to clubs and asking the membership, why did you join Rotary? And you'll get several answers beamed forward. But the second question is, why are you still here? What are you doing to make a difference? And I think that's what we all, we integrate that ourselves, and we show that emotionally in our clubs each week.
Mm-hmm. So the one thing that I had not shown ahead of time to District Governor Collins was the video recap from the 2017 district conference. There were a lot of faces in there that I didn't identify. That voice in the beginning is Floyd Lancia, who is our Rotary International Director for Zones 30 and 31. And you'll hear more from him in your presidency. But Floyd Lancia is a member of the Rotary Club in Fort Wayne. I think it's called the Wayne Anthony Club, but it's in Fort Wayne.
One of the very first slides was completing training and submitting that to the district governor.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Rotary.org. Is that an additional training, and then we complete that and then send that in? Or I guess that's more than this training here that we're doing tonight?
That's a great question. Yes, I think that it's beneficial to take that online training. I took it over the weekend. There are 11 sessions in the online training at Rotary.org for club president. And there are things in there that we can't cover in these quick little nuggets. Things like, what do you do if someone in your care that's a youth claims that there's been some sort of harassment? That's in that training. There are more nuts and bolts kind of training in there, and you log into learn.rotary.org or rotary.org/learn, and you look for club presidents. How many of you have already taken the 11 session club president basics training?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. It just doesn't work from the phone. You have to do it from a computer.
Mm-hmm. And it says, when you look at it, it says it's going to take you 4 hours and 45 minutes. It will not take you that long.
Okay.
But there are 11 sessions, and each one is important. At the very end of all 11, you can print out the certificate that you've completed the entire series. And then that one certificate you can send to District Governor Collings. And that's kind of our way to make sure, it's kind of our way to make sure that you did complete the training, since we're in these unprecedented times. We're not face to face.
Jennifer, this is Jeff Lake.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I've noticed recently is that a lot of the president-elects and the new presidents are a little younger than they've been in the past. And I wouldn't say they're real young, but they're youngish. So I think that's a great sign for the future, that we're getting those people in their 30, 40, 50s to be presidents of the clubs.
I agree.
Jennifer, this is Melody. I have a question.
Hi, Melody. Mm-hmm.
In what we just saw, there were several videos that I think were very inspiring, and it would be fun to share with at our meetings. Is that possible?
So next week, I'm going to show you where I got all of those videos. So that's kind of a teaser to make you come back next week. But honestly, if you look at Rotary.org, there are a lot of videos there. And Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation are two separate entities housed in the same building, but they also have two separate YouTube channels, two separate Vimeo channels. They have Facebook groups. That's where I've gotten a lot of my material today, is just looking for it for myself. And the best tool
for finding things like this is Google, because we are not a secret society where some service organizations are. Everything to do with Rotary, you can Google and find it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer, I would be remiss if I don't at least try to sell all those who are participating tonight on Rotary Leadership Institute. I don't know when the next sessions are going to be held, but keep that in mind when Rotary Leadership Institute is started again in our district. It is one great opportunity for you to attend 3 different sessions. Each session is one Saturday morning from about 8 until 3. But you get a lot of information that would really inspire you in so many ways, and you learn so much about Rotary, the inside nuts of Rotary, and it gives you so much insight into your role as a leader of your club. So I would encourage you to sign up for that. It's $50 per session, but it's usually paid by your club. So I hope that your club can afford to pay $50 on your behalf to send you to that class. I could tell you when the next one is going to be. Karen perhaps might be able to tell us, but I'll yield to her.
I'm not really sure how the next one's going to work at this point, but it is very beneficial. I've been through it. A lot of people have been through it, and you gain a lot of insight, but even better, you talk about best practices between clubs and what works and what doesn't work. So it gives you a lot of insight to what people are doing as far as best practices and contexts from different clubs. So it's pretty awesome experience.
And Jennifer, if I may add one other thing, and I'll then keep my mouth shut. 10 years ago, I was sitting in Joe's chair. I was governor 10 years ago exactly. And I don't envy what you're having to do, Joe. I'm going to tell you, you're having one heck of a nut to crack through this coronavirus, but I admire the effort that you and Jennifer are doing now for pets. And if there's anything that Steve Leonard and I can do to help you during this year, all you need to do is give us a call.
We know that the PETS training that we've had in the past has all been very hands-on in Effingham in the last 8-10 years especially. And trying to do this virtually is a nightmare, let alone attempt to make club visits. I've been told by the Rotary International president that I'm not to make those club visits through the end of the year. And yet I'm going to do the best I can for some of these hybrid club participation today, some of the things that's happening at the club level. I have to be there. And trying to do this, even this session virtually, both Ryan and Jennifer have put their hearts into it, and it's very evident. It's an excellent job.
Wondering how many of the clubs have gone to face-to-face already, or if they're going virtual. I'm just curious because we're on the verge of trying to go face-to-face and virtual at the same time.
Plainfield has gone face-to-face. We started off going to the park and meeting at the little shelter that they have out there where we were allowed to social distance. And just this last week, we had our first meeting back in our regular location. But again, we sat, a seat apart and wore masks and, tried to take those precautions.
Our club is, this is Bruce Watson from the Westfield Club. Our club has done a hybrid of a lot of things. We're meeting about every other week face-to-face and have taken all those precautions to social distance and wear masks and so forth. And all of the food that is served by our country club where we meet is all packaged food, nothing that's open. So we're taking that step. Today at 7:30 in the morning, our club was out participating in a cleanup project, so a service project And next week, we'll meet virtually. So we're meeting, trying to do one project a month, one or two virtual meetings a month, and maybe one face-to-face.
Jennifer, there are at least 2 clubs in Indianapolis that are doing a hybrid. I was at the Indianapolis Youth Club today, and half the people were there in person, half of them were there via Zoom, and also Indy Northeast is doing the same. So I think the hybrid version of club meetings will probably be the best thing for some time.
Doug Johnson from Anderson Morning. We have been meeting every Wednesday morning. We had a breakfast meeting at 7, but now we're doing Zoom every 2 weeks at 7 on Wednesdays. And we have, out of our 16 members, more than half of them are in the higher risk groups. That's spelled OLD. And so we haven't set any deadlines for coming back into meeting personally yet. It'll be later in the year.
At Danville, we're doing combinations as well. We meet at our fairgrounds. We only seat 4 to a table, but then we also have a video stream of the meeting and our guest speakers, so that those that do not want to attend because of the pandemic don't have to.
Carmel Club have had Zoom meetings up until 2 weeks ago. Then we met in person at an outdoor amphitheater in Carmel. Last week we met at MCL, where our president has announced to us that she wants to have 1 Zoom meeting a month, 1 service meeting a month, 1 face-to-face meeting a month, and the last one would probably be a kind of a fun meeting, and she hasn't decided how she's going to do that yet.
The reason I asked is our location where we meet, they're not open. They're closed until October 1st. So we've had an opportunity at the Horizon Convention Center. They've offered it to us for a minimal cost, and we're looking into that. But then we had a service project and only 3 people attended. So it's juggling that right now is going to be the hard part. So I'm just going to send out a survey to the membership and say, you know, we have this opportunity from the convention center to use a room for the same fee that we would at our original. What would you like? And we're still going to request for the virtual to be a part of it, because I just, it's really hard to get our older, I didn't want to say that, our older population to do the virtual. And so I'm hoping that will bring them back, because they have not been attending.
So Anna, one thing I've noticed is that we do use Zoom, and Zoom does give Rotary a 20% discount. However, Google Meet on Google is very similar to Zoom, and it's free. And if you use that, there's a feature that will add captions, closed captioning. Okay. And it does a really good job of making those captions, you know, right on the spot. It does a great, we had in Crawfordsville, our older population does not like to do Zoom because they don't hear as well. And it's just not something that they want to do. So Crawfordsville Club is doing hybrid as well. Where we normally meet is not going to be open. And so we found a spot at the Crawfordsville Country Club, which is a little bit farther out for everybody. But in the meantime, that's what we're going to do, Zoom and in-person social distancing at the country club.
Okay. Thank you everyone for sharing, because we've got to come up with something, because I'm afraid we're losing our older population. They're just not wanting to risk it, and I respect that.
So I created a Survey Monkey, which is free, and sent it out to our club before we did the hybrid. If anybody would like a copy of that, if you want to do it yourself and just see some of the questions
that'd be
that
great.
we ask, that way you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just edit whatever I did. But if you'll email me, let me know you want it, I'll just forward you what I sent our club.
Okay, thank you.
Jennifer, another thing we've been using at Danville that I think has been an extremely good tool, and I know you're talking about this probably next week at the DAC-DB training, but we've been using the RSVP feature through the DAC-DB, and it helps us with our catering costs, kind of gives us an idea of numbers of chairs, things like that. I wish I'd known about it when I was president-elect, when I was doing all of the meeting scheduling, because it would have been a real time saver. But my president-elect found it. She's much more tax savvy than I am, and she found it. She's using it, and we absolutely love it.
Kudos to you guys for actually using it. I have used it for my club. I get no RSVP responses.
I didn't say our members RSVP'd. I just said we've been using it.
We're using Sign Up Genius, which is working really well for us. For some reason, that one's easier, I think.
Yeah.
Do you want to share that with the rest of the group so that we can take a look at it? Okay. These are kind of things that we want to talk about next week. The episode 2, as I'm calling it, is leading your club. And so we want to talk about things that you can do in your role to lead your club, in this year where we're opening opportunities. And so those are some of the things, some of the nuts and bolts or best practices, as Karen said, that you'll learn in RLI. We're going to touch on those next week. I already got an email from somebody asking me for the survey. So apologize for some of the little technical issues. I had my volume all the way up because I'm the one that's recording, but was the volume and everything okay tonight?
Yeah. Okay. Jennifer, you are on 2 screens. You know that, right?
Yes, that's because when I was sharing my screen, I had people that were still trying to get into the Zoom. And so I had to open it up on my cell phone so that I could let them in. Because when I have the screen, when I share my screen, it's the whole screen and I can't do anything else. Well, I haven't figured it out anyway, but that's why there's 2 of me. Any other questions you guys have for our district governor? Did everybody get their folders? Do you know where those came from?
It was on my doorstep, or my mother was here. I don't know who brought it. Did you bring it, Jennifer?
I did not.
Who delivered them? That was very nice. Thank you.
Secret Santa.
Secret Santa.
One thing we have added this year, and I've asked Ginger Scott to head this, but I would like to follow through. She's going to do a district events, almost like an Excel spreadsheet that we could all view, but it will allow all of us to see if we are Zooming or we're using the Google site, excuse me. It will give the information as to where it is so we can attend each other's meetings. And also, when we're having special events, we're going to post those. We've had so many clubs who've had the meetings the same night that we couldn't attend both. We've had the water project and some gift of life ideas and all excellent programs, but we did not interface. So I'm going to ask Ginger to put all these together, and we can follow then each club's journey and then hopefully increase participation from those of us that would like to all of our mutual events. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday with the Indianapolis clubs, some things that they're jointly doing, and they will benefit from this. I think it will gain momentum if we just know what we're doing and what we're anticipating for service projects. We might be able to share some of those between clubs.
did receive an email yesterday or last night asking us to post our meetings on DAC-DB in the calendar for all to see. So I asked our secretary to start doing that for us. So,
Joe, another benefit to Zoom is that we can now connect with those people who are in other countries where projects are being done. So now we have people zooming in from Uganda and other places to our meetings, which of course they never were able to do before this pandemic set in. So that's something that you may want to think about when you have people that are in other countries where you provided a grant and you can get them involved in your Zoom calls.
Good point. Well, Jennifer, what's phase two? What do you have planned for Tuesday? Some of the ideas that we could at least anticipate and maybe do some background work to be sure we have those sites up.
Right. So we're going to look at DAC-DB and the things that you can learn on there, the things that you can put in, like the calendar, how to create your email signature as a template so that every time you email your club or you email your board or you have that proper email signature with the Rotary logo and the theme if you want to add those. We're going to talk about DAC-DB Mobile, which is not an app, but it's something that's on your cell phone. So like when I went to PETS 3 years ago, I met a guy named Byron, but I didn't remember what club he was with. And so I looked on DAC-DB, looked for Byron in my district, and look, there's Byron Stevens from Brownsburg. And his cell phone number, his photo, all of that was in there. So one of the things I want to show you is these are your club president according to our district page. So you can see we've got names, clubs. These are in alphabetical order by club, but look, there's Byron and there's his photo. So I was able to send him a text message and say, hey, we're all downstairs in the lobby if you want to come join us. This demo, that's going to be me so that I can show you what a club president can do on DAC-DB without showing you all the things that I can see as a assistant governor. But there are clubs that don't have a photo. So between now and next week, I'd like for these clubs to work on getting your information updated on DAC-DB, because it's very helpful, especially, you know, for the district governor to be able to get to know you, your face, and that kind of thing. So this is Rotary6560.org is the website, but on DAC-DB is where you upload your photo and your contact info.
Hey, Jennifer, it's Scott. One of the things, so we just merged two Rotaries in Grant County together, Marion and Marion North. And one of the struggles that we're having, because I was with Marion North, and I'm not sure that it's officially through the Rotary International approval process yet. When I go to email out to our entire group for our weekly meetings, I can't get all of Marion's population in ours. And so I'm only getting half of the combined club. And I've tried to just blind copy them in, and for some reason it's not getting through to them. I've got a separate list off of a spreadsheet. And so I don't know if there's somebody from a technical standpoint that could reach out to me.
Well, Terry Harvey is our district administrator, and she can absolutely fix that. I can talk to her and find out. Joe, who is their assistant governor for Marion and Marion North?
We do not have one assigned yet, Jennifer.
Okay. So the other answer to that question would have been your assistant governor can see both of those. But that's a Terry Harvey fix. And if you want to contact her, or if you want me to contact her for you, I can do that.
Scott, she can definitely blend that together for you.
Mhm.
Okay. How would I find her contact info?
Well,
DACDB is the fastest.
right.
Okay, so I can access her even though she's
Yes.
not in my club?
Yes.
Okay.
So on that road, yeah, DACDB or on Rotary6560.org, you can look at who your leadership is, and she's listed on there. She's a member of the Noblesville Rotary or Noblesville Midday Club. I'm looking at her contact right now. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I can't pull it up right now, but it is there on DACDB. If you have any trouble, just contact me and I'll forward you the info.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other housekeeping issues we need to help you in your role as club president?
We will have, our numbers went down drastically because of COVID. We lost 23 members starting in July because they decided not to renew. We were at 104 minus 23, so it's going to be hard building it back up during these times. So anything that you guys, the governor, have to share to help us keep going will be appreciated.
We will share ideas. And I think that's a universal problem we're all going to have.
Yeah.
We just have to encourage the increased engagement.
Yeah.
One other question that I had, we found out over the weekend, our major fundraiser, we work an event called 1812, which is a commemoration of a battle that took place in Mississinawa in 1812. And we raise, I don't know, $15,000 to $20,000 a year at that event by working a weekend. And they just canceled the event due to COVID for this fall. And so we're looking for new ideas now as to how to potentially raise some money to be able to invest in our local community. So if anybody has thoughts or ideas that have worked well in your communities that we could borrow for at least a year, that would be awesome.
For us, our major service project for the whole club is with the schools, tutoring in all areas of the schools. We have a huge school system in partnership with Ball State, so that has been the big focus of the club. They're not going to have volunteers this coming year, so we're trying to find ways to provide service projects besides going to the park and cleaning up, and for those that can't. So service projects will be an issue also for us, that we're trying to find things that can be done.
Ryan Henry has his hand raised.
Yeah, to a point there about fundraisers being canceled due to COVID concerns, Indianapolis East is looking at, with the Rotary District Foundation, clubs can open up accounts if you don't have your own 501c3, where you could then solicit organizations in your community outside of Rotary. Since bigger companies have money allotted in a budget specifically for community projects. So, to those clubs that are about to lose a significant source of revenue, you should really contact Salim or Steve Leonard and talk to them about the details there, because this could potentially be the difference between being able to maintain your budget or having to make any drastic and unfortunate changes.
That's great information. I've been writing down all of these notes, and we'll look at discussing specifically that one on the third day when we talk about foundation and fundraising. But you bring up excellent points. I like the idea about tutoring. I'd like to find out more how that becomes a fundraiser, especially with a lot of the elementary, junior high, and high schools around here doing virtual school, how we could help as Rotarians, those parents and teachers out with kids that need help. So that's something we can talk about offline. It is now 8:30, and I told you it'd be 60 to 90 minutes. We are at 90 minutes.